Hey y'all, I've got this bowl of pinto beans here that I've been soaking for 48 hours, and they're at the point now where you can snap them in half. They just break right in two. So at this point, I'm going to put them in a stock pot and boil them with salt pork. This is my meat knife. I like it because it's really thin and it keeps a razor sharp edge. I don't even use a chef's knife. I don't own a chef knife. There are just certain knives I have that I like, and I've had this one since I started cooking, actually. It used to be my mother's. The meat that I'm using for these beans is salt pork. Pinto beans like a lot of seasoning, and you can use ham or bacon with pinto beans. It's kind of interchangeable. Some people just like different cuts of seasoned pork in their beans. Okay, so I've cut up this pork, and it was about half frozen when I cut it up because it makes meat easier to slice. And this salt pork is already sliced in the package. And the whole package goes into this pot of beans. It'll break up on its own as the water heats up. I went ahead and transferred my beans into this soup pot. I really overestimated how big of a pot I would need for a pound of beans. This is what they look like after about 2 hours. The meat's all broken up. The beans are getting soft, but I'm going to boil the hell out of them until they cook all the way down. I reserved the extra liquid from the beans that I had in the stock pot to replenish the liquid in my beans as they boil. Okay, now this is what they look like after 3 hours of hard boiling. And now I'm going to add the extra juice that I saved into these beans and continue cooking them. This is after 4 hours of hard boiling. I turn my burner off for 2 hours and turn it back on again, and this is what they look like. They thicken up, and it's a peculiarity with pinto beans. I don't know why they do that, but they do. What I'm going to do now is take some of these beans and mash them up, and it's going to thicken the soup. If you get any pork in it, just dig it out. It'll be all right. All you want is the beans. Now I'm going to mash them up with a fork. And when you're done, it's going to look like this. It's going to be real thick. Now I'm going to get some of this liquid and clean this bowl out. Now I'm going to let this continue to boil down. The soup doesn't thicken up immediately. It still has to evaporate some of this water. but right now is a good time to season it. But what I have here is liquid smoke. The bottle fell on the floor and the cap bust, so I had to transfer what I had left into this little squeeze bottle. But it's Wright's liquid smoke. I'm going to squeeze about 1/8 of a teaspoon into my spoon and then check it. Now I'm going to add a little more. See, that's a trick in case the meat you're using isn't smoked and you still want a smoky flavor. Just use liquid smoke. It'll turn out fine. Now, what I have here is mushroom umami seasoning that I picked up at Walmart. It's new. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of new artisan seasonings come out. Some of them don't have any salt in them, which I think is a really good thing. This has crushed red pepper in it, so I'm going to use it sparingly and check it as I go to make sure it doesn't get too hot. It's not too bad. I'm going to add a little bit of onion powder. These beans by themselves and just with the salt pork are pretty bland, and they can take some seasoning. Now I'm going to add salt. I have a preference for Celtic sea salt because it's a natural whole mineral salt that is unrefined from the ocean, and it's lower in sodium with a saltier flavor than sodium chloride or Himalayan pink salt or regular sea salt. Now I'm going to add just a little bit of pepper. And I do consider black pepper to be hot spice. I'm going to add a little more of this mushroom umami. I kind of like it. I just wish it didn't have red pepper in it. Now I'm going to do something y'all probably ain't never seen done before. When I was growing up, we had a condiment called sport peppers and vinegar. It had a little red cap on it. And I used to season my beans and my spinach with it. Well, I can't find it anymore. So, to make up for it, I'm going to season my beans with apple cider vinegar. Kindly cut the fat, brighten it up a little bit. That's about 1.5 tablespoons. And in total, I think I put 1.5 teaspoons of liquid smoke in my beans. Perfect. That vinegar just offsets the richness of the fat. Now I'm going to turn my burner down to medium, and I'm just going to let them cook. Now when these beans are done, they're going to look like this. They're going to be reduced down by about 1/4 of the way down from where you started. They're going to be thick and rich. Beans are done. And I'm going to eat them with some pickled okra, because I did not feel like frying up okra and making cornbread and all these other accoutrements that normally come with beans. I've had a long day and I just want to eat. So here it is. Took 6 hours to make them. These are good. These are meal beans, y'all. They're not side order beans that you get in a cafe. Eating something pickled with beans is a good way to cut the richness. There is quite a bit of fat in these beans, but it's a good kind of fat. Well, that's it, y'all. I'm going to continue eating my beans and my okra, and I'm going to watch some TV. Bye.